get it twisted. Don't get up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. You know, but I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. You know, I'm just kind of in this mode right now because I'm getting the same, you know, thing from watching my son, who's a 19-year-old, kind of getting a lot of animosity and hatred towards him when he's just a kid trying to live out his dream.
I think the WNBA narrative right now is Caitlin Clark, and I think that's a good narrative, but it's also not the only narrative. Caitlin is an amazing generational talent, and she's going to do amazing things. You're the #1 pick. People are going to go after you, whether it's for the right or wrong reasons, because they see greatness in you. And what the WNBA is measuring one type of greatness against the other greatness. There's just so much more to the WNBA than Caitlin, but Caitlin is the face right now, and that's also good.
The biggest thing for me is her not even responding to all the that's going on. And I think that's commendable. I think she's a unicorn. She's doing everything I thought she was going to do and more, like win the MVP.
You think Caitlin
That's not going to happen this year, but it could happen very soon.
It's great for the conversation.
Y'all all went to the Olympics and now y'all losing now. Is y'all burnt out? Y'all should have let this young girl go over there and play.
I just don't
But
think
then she
there's a
would've been burnt out.
correlation.
Nah, but she would because she's a rookie. You let these young play. Caitlin Clark is a superhero. Now, they not listening, though.
I hear you.
They don't be listening. They watching this in real time. We watching greatness in real time. Just like they be saying about Brian, oh, you just appreciate Brian. We're watching it in real time. We're watching Caitlin in real time. What the is so hard to appreciate? You ain't never seen nothing like this. It's Steph Curry and Steve Nash mixed together. They're doing crazy.
Hell yeah.
What?
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the 3 and then I went and hit the backboard, and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So I don't know, it reminded me of the technical that I got in college where I said, damn it, where it's like a personal frustration. Had nothing to do with my team, had nothing to do with their reffing, had nothing to do with other team. It was just because I'm a competitor and I felt like I should have been making more shots. So, but I think he fired me up to continue to play a lot harder. I thought we got a lot better after he did that. So I want to thank him for that.
99% all rookies get the same treatment. There's a few that's
Don't
coming
fuck
through
with him.
history. You can't fuck with them. When LeBron came, they got the yapping.
Get them out of here. All of them.
Mid-season.
All of them. When you was coming up, you was the best, right? Every team had to send all kind of defenders, all kind of distractions at you, right? So when you in the game and the motherfucker trying to get a rouse out of you, do you ignore that nigga like Caitlin is doing out there?
Yeah, no, I just took the
piss
same
you
thing
off.
that Caitlin doing.
So when you built from that, you gotta wave that shit off. Like, she bumped her, she could have turned around and been like, yo, what's going on? But this is my house. We just beat y'all ass. Oh, thank you for that the little kiss you just gave me. Now take that ass onto the fucking jet and think about what I just did to you as a rookie.
Yeah, I think setting my teammates up, I think that just like provides so much more energy to the team. It gets everybody going, and when everybody can like touch the ball and, you know, get going in that way, I think it just, you know, everybody just flows a little bit better. The offense flows a little bit better. But that's something I take a lot of pride in. At times I think I can try to like overpass and probably could be a little more aggressive to the basket. But yeah, I think with the weapons that we have on our team, like it's just easy for me to set them up, especially with AB, like playing pick and roll with her, and our chemistry is just slowly developing and getting better and better. And yeah, I think we're just, you know, learning as time goes and each game goes, like we're just getting better and better.
I've grown the most in just, you know, understanding my teammates, understanding the system that we run, understanding how people are going to guard me, understanding ways that I can put myself in a position to be successful. It's so much different than college, and in college I, you know, had teammates that were there with me for 4 years and were really comfortable playing with me, and then you come here and you have to learn your teammates in 2 weeks before you step on the court, and that can be really hard. And I've just learned, you know, how I can put my teammates in a position to be successful, and they've learned, you know, what's going to make me go too. And I think you can see literally every single game our chemistry is just building and building.
You're a student by nature. I feel like you're a new kid in school again. We all have to go through it. When we got new jobs, it was like, and let's start over. How does being the new kid in school feel right now?
It feels good. I mean, I think just the excitement and the energy around this league, around our team, but at the same time, I think just learning day by day, that's going to be the biggest thing for myself. And I think continuing to stack days, whether you learn one little thing or you learn a lot, I think continuing to improve is going to be the biggest part of it for myself. But also, don't lose the fun of it. Like, this is what it's all about.
Jason Whitlock calls Caitlin Clark a brat and a diva because of what she did recently. At the peak of the rookie year debate between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, it was Jason Whitlock who was championing Caitlin the most. In fact, he went out of his way to expose different media narratives which were trying to put Angel over Caitlin. He has clearly been in Caitlin's corner this entire time, which is why it is surprising to see him bash her after Indiana's recent loss to the Minnesota Lynx. Caitlin has been playing some unbelievable basketball. She has set several new records and career highs since the WNBA returned from the Olympic break. Despite this, there have been a few moments where she has faltered and allowed her emotions to get the best of her, which is what Whitlock is zeroing in on. By the end of this video, you will see why Caitlin Clark needs to control her emotions if she wants to take her game to the next level. The Indiana Fever fell in their first defeat in 6 games on Friday night, despite Caitlin Clark smashing yet another record in the WNBA. Clark put up 25 points as the Fever suffered a 99-88 loss against the Minnesota Lynx, who were also the last team to beat them back on August 24th. While Indiana's win streak may be over, their rookie sensation still managed to set a new franchise record after hitting her 103rd three-pointer of the season. No other player in Fever history has ever surpassed 102 three-pointers in a single campaign, and Clark still has another 5 regular season games to improve on her tally. However, during the game, an incident occurred which led to Whitlock calling out Caitlin Clark. In the third quarter, Caitlin drove to the paint, but her shot was blocked. This led to her lying on the floor and not getting up to play defense. Naturally, this led to an easy bucket for Minnesota. Whitlock called Caitlin out for flopping and then taking a nap on the court while her team was desperately trying to get back into the game. Whitlock took things further by saying that she made a fool of herself because she failed to control her emotions. Caitlin Clark made a fool of herself last night. Embarrassing performance. Her lack of emotional control and hyper-focus on arguing with and showing up the refs caused the Fever to lose composure and meltdown. Now, of course, this is not the first time something like this has happened. If you have been following Caitlin for a while, this should not come as a surprise. Her playmaking is one thing that translated to the pros right away. Her shot, meanwhile, has taken some time to adjust. Unfortunately for Caitlin, another thing that translated to the WNBA is the high turnovers. One such turnover caused her to lose her mind, and a poor water bottle was on the other end of her frustration.
Two teams that desperately want to win, diving on the floor, leaving it all out there.
Welcome back to Dallas. Caitlin Clark upset with herself. Just her second turnover of this half.
This wasn't the first time her emotions got the best of her. Caitlin couldn't help but express frustration over the referees during the game between the Indiana Fever and Phoenix Mercury. After the refs missed a blatant kickball, Caitlin could only hold her head in her hands and yell, "Wake up," toward the nearest referee. And if you're good at lip reading, then you would have easily deciphered her saying, "That's so bad," or "You're so bad." Caitlin has always been a passionate player. Even during her college days, she had several instances where her emotions got the best of her. In fact, her dad always reminds her to stay calm and focus on the game. So it's not really a surprise to see her frustrated by a missed call. She even chastised refs for falling for flops and missing the actual play. The Fever started the season extremely poorly, and since then they have clawed their way back into playoff contention. With the season slowly coming to an end, each game matters more and more, so every win and loss counts. Against Dallas, Clark may have set the record for the most assists, but the game slipped out of her hand just as the ball did. With 45 seconds left, Fever were down 4 points. It was paramount for them to score. Of course, the playmaking duties fall on Caitlin's shoulders, so Dallas knew where the ball would be, and to their credit, they put enough pressure on Caitlin to cause a turnover. Clark was visibly frustrated after the whistle. After initially slapping the hardwood in anger, she returned to the bench where she received a water bottle from a water boy and promptly spiked it along the sideline. Afterwards, she opened up about the frustrating loss.
The loss and the late turnover, or was it something that you'll like when you look back, you'll savor it?
Yeah, the late turnover definitely kills, for sure. It's like a fine line of they were up pressuring me, so then I kind of got behind them and was able to attack, and then I tried to pull it out and kind of lost my handle while getting poked from behind, so that one definitely kills.
Her lack of emotional control has been an ongoing issue for her. This is why Whitlock even called her a diva. She showed these exact tendencies at Iowa. The problem is getting worse, not better. I love her, but she's a brat and diva on the court. Some do feel that Caitlin has been unfairly officiated all year. There have been a few instances where opposing players have hit her with dirty shots that should have resulted in ejections, but weren't. Not to mention the overly physical defense that is constantly being played on her. The type of defense that wouldn't be tolerated against any other player, but for some reason against Caitlin, it is fair game. Fever's coach, Christy Sides, has been vocal about what she perceives as unfair treatment towards Caitlin, arguing that the young star is being singled out by officials. Caitlin also echoed these sentiments, stating, "I think everybody is physical with me. They get away with things that probably other people don't get away with. It's tough, but that is just the fact of the matter." However, Whitlock believes the officiating has been fair, and it is Caitlin who has been out of line. He even called her a brat. She has a well-earned bad reputation with the refs. No player in the WNBA spends more time whining and bickering with the refs. Last night, she took it to a new level. She behaved like a 12-year-old entitled brat. This has to be fixed and addressed. It is not a one-off. It's been there all season. It's gone uncorrected, so it's getting worse. Now, controlling your emotions is a big part of the game. We have seen plenty of players who allow their emotions to get the best of them and then end up making bad plays or taking bad shots or committing flagrant fouls. Each of these simply hurts their team and makes it harder for them to win. Whitlock sees this pattern potentially repeating for Indiana as well. The Fever won't reach their potential until Clark grows up. Her lack of emotional control is the biggest obstacle for the Fever. She is the leader of the team, and Aaliyah Boston has followed Clark down the whiny path. It has to end. The refs, for good reason, do not like the Fever. Now, Caitlin will be the first one to tell you that she is not perfect. She famously started her WNBA career setting an unflattering record. She scored 20 points in her debut game, but during that game she also committed 10 turnovers, the most in a debut in WNBA history. The losses also piled up pretty quickly. The Fever began the season on an 11 games and 20 days gauntlet littered with nationally televised contests against the best teams in the league. A 2-9 start when Clark had 1 double-double, 3 single-digit scoring games, and more turnovers than rebounds. No one really remembers the shaky start anymore because of how Caitlin has turned around the Fever franchise. She has figured out the pro game on the fly. She leads the WNBA in assists with 8.3 per game and total points created with 1,012 via points and assists. She also did the impossible and turned around the Indiana franchise. Indiana already has as many wins this season as it did a year ago and is tied for the 4th most victories in the league since the start of July. She has also etched her name in the league's historical records. Against the Seattle Storm, she set the record for most assists by a first-year player, passing WNBA legend Tisha Penicheiro with 12 games to spare. She also has the most assists in a single game, dishing 19 dimes. Along with the record for the most consecutive point-assist double-doubles in a rookie season, the most double-doubles by a rookie guard, the first rookie to record a triple-double, the single-game leader in three-point field goals made by a rookie, and she is the youngest player to record a double-double with points and assists in back-to-back games. Clearly, her skill set is not the obstacle. If anything gets in her way, it will be her lack of emotional control and allowing her anger and frustration to get the best of her.